Welcome to TFP, the Theater Folk Podcast. I am Lindsay Price, resident playwright for Theater Folk. Small fish, big words. Maybe. Hello, I hope you're well. Thanks for listening. Episode 54, Fight Your Inner Critic, and how to get your play script out from under the itter or inner critic's thumb. So, today we're talking about what is an inner critic, how you fight the inner critic, and how to keep writing when your inner critic is screaming, "Stop!" as they are wont to do. So what is this thing called the inner critic? We all have them. The phenomenon is not limited to the arts. It's global. It's everywhere. So many of us have little voices, little demons on our shoulder talking smack about us. If you are one of those folks who have been able to tame this voice, I tip my hat to you. I think that is an amazing skill, to be able to differentiate between a true thought and a destructive one. So, you might want to go get a sandwich. See you next week. Tip your waitress. Okay, the inner critic. If you have one, you're not alone. It's common experience to hear the voice of self-doubt and feel insecure. It's a common experience for that voice to have a negative impact on us, on our work, on moving work forward. Maybe because I come from an arts perspective that I say this, but inner critics seem to be pretty pervasive in the arts. Artists are the best at bringing themselves down and their work down. There's such a strong umbilical cord between artists and work. If we are bad as people, well, our work must be bad, right? When the inner critic gets going, we feel insecure about whether our work is any good, if anyone's going to like our work, and that feeling becomes a reflex, a knee-jerk reaction to the outside world. I love your work. Oh, it's not that good. It can be hard to say thank you. Certainly, and there are those who swing in the other direction too. I know you love my work. I am amazing. But that's a level of extreme insecurity all on its own. The balanced life is one of, balance, void of extremes. My inner critic says, "You're no good." Often. She is very thin, very blonde, wears clothes very well, or so I imagine in my head. The big thing she hits home with is that the work I do and the writing I do is not only subpar, it's not worth anything. It's amateurish, it's only high school. And another lovely thing, this charmer harps on, is that I am not working hard enough. I don't do enough. I could write so much more if I actually had discipline. I could always write more, work more, produce more. None of that is true. I know that. I'm proud of my work, the kind of work that I do, and while I, as opposed to this voice, I do think I could work harder with more efficiency. I work plenty hard, and I produce enough. Saying this, though, and acknowledging it with a practical brain does not make the inner critic easier to deal with. So how do we deal with it? Let's, shall we? Come on! And basically, I'm going to share here what I do as an artist dealing with an inner critic in direct relation to my work. I ain't no doctor. I'm just a playwright. Just a playwright. She's just a playwright, Jim. So, what are some of the things that the inner critic says to us? Number one, with a bullet, my work is no good. How do we deal with that? What do I do? First, acknowledge the negative voice is separate from you. That what is going on in your head is not you. If you want to get really funky about it, your mind is not you. What? I know. Hang on. Keep with me. So this is straight out of The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which I would really recommend. It's a chewy book, very dense, and something I'm still slowly working through. And by no means have I implemented its practices fully. I relapse all the time, like a thing that relapses a lot. But the effect is rather stunning when I hear my inner critic and I purposefully take a step back. Say to the voice, I hear you, and that's not me. That's not what I think. Hard to do. It's so much easier to go, you're right, I'm no good. And this all goes hand in hand with number 2, which is try meditation. Again, you might say, what? What's with all the wheatgrass, crunchy granola? Well, it's about the brain and not being controlled by that brain. And one of the best ways to give your brain a break is to set aside some time to not think. I'm a layman when it comes to meditation, but I do it. And that's kind of what my understanding of the process is. When you meditate, your job is to empty your mind and focus on your breath. You're not thinking. You're not worrying about your work. You're not making a grocery list. You are present in the moment, counting your breath in and out. Maybe you do a short mantra. There are a million short mantras online. Go to YouTube so that you can get the rhythm and then say the mantra 108 times. That's the magic number. And bonus, it will take you about 15 minutes to complete, which is a perfect length. Of course, for some, chanting a mantra is a spiritual experience. For others, like me, it's all about calming that brain, having something to focus on. I have a lot of trouble just sitting for 15 minutes without thinking, and a mantra provides a awesome focus to keep me in place. How about forming a habit to fight your inner critic? Practice saying thank you when complimented on your work. Insane, I know. Make that your knee-jerk reaction instead of, oh, my work is crap. It can be real torture to change this habit, but it's well worth it. You can also practice saying, I like my work. Every time your critic demeans what you do, counter. Say, I believe in my work. Don't get crazy about it. This is not about building an ego. It's about finding balance. If you say it loud enough, maybe you'll actually believe that you believe in your work. And what else? How about something practical? If you don't think your work is good, take practical steps to make it better. Create a writing schedule and stick to it. Take a class to improve your skills. Do a monologue challenge where you write a monologue every day for a month. Commit to 5 minutes of daily journaling. You are in complete control of making your work good and improving your craft. So these practical steps can also help to counter your inner voice when it says you don't work hard enough. Keep track of how hard you actually do work. Write it out every day. What do? When I have a day where I think I've been lazy or haven't done anything, I'll list exactly what I have done. I am often amazed at how many items end up on that list. It's impossible to let myself get down or to listen to my inner critic. And remember, too, that everything counts. Everything. 5 minutes on a character description counts. Some research on a specific job for a play counts. A warm-up exercise counts. 1 page of text counts. There is no daily quota that makes you a writer. No one knocks on my door each night asking to see how many pages I've written. It's unproductive to say, oh, I only wrote 1 page today. I suck. Turn that around. I got a page done today. That's 1 more page than I had yesterday. The inner critic's negative feedback can be especially deadly when we're in the middle of a writing project. When writing has to get done. When there's a deadline for a draft and you have to move forward. If your inner critic kicks in, it can have a paralyzing effect. When this happens to me, the best defense is, again, something practical. If working directly on the script is just not happening, I focus on exercises that exist to the left of the script. I move off to the side. Character development exercises. I write a letter for my main character. I write a scene that takes place in their past. I write a conversation between my main character and somebody famous. I play question-answer, thinking of 10 questions I would like to know, and then try to answer them. Yes, none of this is physically moving the text forward. But all of it has an impact on the play, and it's all helping. And it means I'm not sitting staring at a blank page while my inner critic rails against the side of my skull. I'm being productive. I'm doing something right. Automatic writing is another excellent exercise. You focus on the act of writing, just getting words on the page, regardless of the quality of the content. Give yourself a time limit and don't stop writing. Don't worry about what goes on the page. Just get it down. All writing has a purpose. Automatic writing often has the effect on me of getting me out of the whirlpool of negative thought and clearing my mind. That's when I know I'm ready to work. So we can all agree the inner critic is not a nice person, but it's your choice to listen or not. It's your choice to take steps that allow you to function. And it's your choice to get your writing done. Before we go, let's do some theater folk news. It's newsletter time. Get your newsletter here. Newsletter here. This month, we continue our trek through theater history with a look at Molière. Was Molière a neoclassic playwright? How did he end up in debtor's prison? Is Molière even his real name? The answers to all this and more. Go to our website. You'll be able to get this free newsletter on our blog. Have you signed up for our newsletter yet? Go to theaterfolk.com, scroll down to the banner at the bottom of every page, plunk in your email. Easy as pie. Lastly, where can you find this podcast? We post new episodes every Wednesday at theaterfolk.com and on our Facebook page and Twitter. You can find us on youtube.com/theaterfolk. You can find us on the Stitcher app, and you can subscribe to TFP on iTunes. All you have to do is search on the word theaterfolk. And that's where we're going to end. Take care, my friends. Take care.